First story, Shadows in Blue, by Detective Michael Harris. The city of New Orleans is no stranger to peculiar occurrences, but nothing could prepare me for the inexplicable events that unfolded during one fateful night shift. As a seasoned detective, I thought I had seen it all, but this case defied all logic. It was a chilly autumn evening when I received a call about strange noises emanating from an abandoned warehouse near the French Quarter. My partner, Detective Rodriguez, and I arrived at the scene, our flashlights cutting through the darkness like knives. The rusty gates creaked open, and an eerie silence settled upon us. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness as we cautiously explored the labyrinthine interior. The beams of our flashlights flickered, casting dancing shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. I could feel the weight of unseen eyes upon us, and an unsettling chill crawled up my spine. As we delved deeper, we stumbled upon a room bathed in an otherworldly blue light. Strange symbols adorned the walls, and the air pulsed with an otherworldly energy. My senses screamed at me to leave, but curiosity kept me tethered to the bizarre scene. Suddenly, the shadows began to converge, forming grotesque silhouettes that mirrored human shapes but were distorted and elongated. Whispers echoed through the room, unintelligible yet dripping with malice. It was as if the very essence of fear had materialized in that unholy place. We pressed on, determined to uncover the source of this malevolence. The blue light intensified, casting an unsettling glow on our surroundings. Just as we reached the heart of the room, a blood-curdling scream shattered the air, sending shivers down my spine. Turning around, we saw the shadows coalesce into a nightmarish figure, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly fervor. Rodriguez and I opened fire, but our bullets passed through the specter without effect. The temperature plummeted, and the air crackled with an ominous energy. In a desperate attempt to escape, we fled the room, the haunting wails of the creature echoing behind us. As we emerged into the cool night air, the blue light vanished, leaving the warehouse in darkness once more. The city resumed its slumber, oblivious to the eldritch horrors that lurked within its midst. To this day, I cannot explain the events that transpired that night. The shadows in blue haunt my dreams, a testament to the thin veil that separates our reality from the unknown horrors that lie just beyond. Second story, Whispers in the Woods, by Officer Emma Bennett. The quaint town of Blackwood, nestled at the edge of a dense forest, had always been a peaceful haven. But one night, as I patrolled the quiet streets, an eerie hush settled over the town, foreshadowing the unsettling events that would unfold. Reports of strange occurrences in the nearby woods had reached the precinct, prompting me to investigate. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of trepidation, I ventured into the heart of the looming trees. The air was thick with an otherworldly tension, and every rustle of leaves sent shivers down my spine. Deeper into the forest, I stumbled upon an ancient clearing, its center adorned with an ominous stone altar. A sickly green mist hung in the air, distorting the moonlight into ghastly shapes. The forest seemed to breathe, a living entity with a pulse that resonated through the very ground beneath my feet. As I approached the altar, whispers emerged from the shadows, weaving a sinister tapestry of voices that seemed to echo from beyond the veil of reality. The language was unfamiliar, a dark symphony that sent a chill through my bones. I could feel unseen eyes upon me, watching and judging. Suddenly, the mist congealed into ghostly figures, their forms shifting between human and ethereal. They beckoned me towards the altar, their voices growing more insistent. Fear clawed at my chest, but a compulsion beyond my control urged me forward. A sensation of dread enveloped me as I stood before the altar. Symbols carved into the stones seemed to writhe, taking on a life of their own. The whispers crescendoed into a cacophony, drowning out the very essence of the forest. In a moment of clarity, I snapped out of the trance and fled the clearing, the ghostly figures dissipating like smoke. The forest, once alive with an unnatural energy, returned to its dormant state. The whispers lingered in the wind, a haunting reminder of the malevolent force that lurked within the heart of Blackwood. As I emerged from the woods, the town lay silent in the moonlight. The unsettling calm spoke of a presence that transcended the physical realm. Blackwood had secrets, and the whispers in the woods were a chilling testament to the thin veil that separated the known from the incomprehensible. Third story, Echoes of the Abandoned Asylum, by Sergeant James Anderson. Chicago, with its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, held secrets of its own. One case, in particular, lingers in the recesses of my mind: the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of the city. It was a place whispered about in hushed tones among officers, a relic of a darker era. One night, responding to reports of strange lights flickering within the dilapidated structure, my partner, Officer Daniels, and I found ourselves standing before the imposing gates of the asylum. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow on the decaying facade. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the floor creaked beneath our boots as we explored the echoing hallways. Shadows danced on the peeling wallpaper, and distant echoes of laughter and screams reverberated through the desolate corridors. As we ventured deeper into the asylum's abyss, we stumbled upon a room adorned with cryptic symbols and faded paintings. The atmosphere shifted, becoming dense with a palpable malevolence. It was as if the very walls held the tortured souls of the past. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and a bone-chilling wind whispered through the corridors. Daniels and I exchanged uneasy glances, our flashlights flickering in response to an unseen force. The air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. As we continued our exploration, we heard the distant cries of a woman, her wails echoing through the desolation. Following the haunting sound, we reached the asylum's long-forgotten basement. The flickering lights revealed a ghastly scene: a spectral figure clad in tattered clothing, her eyes hollow pools of despair. She beckoned us towards a hidden chamber, its door creaking open with a ghostly wail. Within, we discovered a collection of worn-out toys and faded photographs, a grim testament to the asylum's dark history. The woman pointed towards a cracked mirror, revealing the reflection of a twisted figure standing behind us. Fear gripped our hearts as the shadows converged into a malevolent force, its icy fingers reaching out. We fled the basement, the anguished cries of the tormented woman fading into the distance. The asylum, once a place of healing, now harbored a malevolent entity that defied explanation. As we emerged into the cold night, the asylum stood silent and foreboding. The echoes of the past lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separated the living from the tormented spirits trapped within the decaying walls of the abandoned asylum. Fourth story, The Silent Town of Dunbridge, by Officer Rebecca Turner. In the heart of rural Pennsylvania lies the quaint town of Dunbridge, a place that harbors a secret darkness that only a few are aware of. My patrol through its quiet streets one fateful night uncovered a chilling mystery that would leave an indelible mark on my psyche. Reports of strange occurrences had drawn me to the outskirts of town, where an abandoned mansion loomed like a specter against the moonlit sky. As I approached, an unsettling stillness settled over the area, and the night seemed to hold its breath. Inside the mansion, I encountered a maze of decrepit halls and forgotten rooms. Dust danced in the air as my footsteps echoed through the empty corridors. The walls bore witness to the passage of time, adorned with faded wallpaper and creaking floorboards beneath worn-out carpets. As I explored deeper, a soft melody reached my ears, a haunting piano playing in the distance. The sound seemed to beckon me towards an ornate ballroom, its grandeur long faded into a melancholic elegance. The piano keys moved of their own accord, creating a spectral melody that filled the air. In the center of the ballroom, a figure dressed in a tattered gown swayed to the ghostly music. Her eyes, vacant and filled with sorrow, met mine. The air grew heavy with an unspoken tragedy, and the temperature dropped as if the very essence of the room mourned a forgotten past. The figure reached out, her cold fingers grazing my hand. A vision flashed before my eyes, an opulent ball, laughter, and joy. But the scene turned to chaos, the once vibrant celebration descending into darkness. The figure whispered of betrayal and loss, her voice a melancholic symphony. The mansion seemed to come alive with the echoes of the past. Shadows danced along the walls, and ghostly apparitions reenacted scenes of anguish and despair. The air pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and I found myself entangled in a tale of love and tragedy that transcended time. In a moment of clarity, the figure vanished, leaving behind a profound silence. The piano fell silent, and the mansion returned to its dilapidated state. Dunbridge, with its seemingly peaceful exterior, concealed the remnants of a love story that had soured into a ghostly lament. As I left the mansion behind, the town lay still beneath the moonlit sky. Dunbridge, with its unassuming facade, held secrets that only the night revealed, a testament to the thin veil that separates the living from the spectral echoes of a long-forgotten past. Fifth story, The Midnight Caller, by Officer Mark Sullivan. Nestled in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, the small town of Ravenswood held a chilling secret that defied the tranquility of its picturesque surroundings. It was during a midnight patrol that I found myself entangled in a web of mystery that sent shivers down my spine. A series of peculiar incidents had been reported. The townsfolk spoke of a phantom caller that haunted the quiet streets after midnight. Intrigued and skeptical, I set out to investigate, my radio crackling with an unsettling static that seemed to grow louder with each step. The moon hung low in the sky as I patrolled the deserted streets. Ravenswood, typically quiet and serene, now felt like a ghost town bathed in an ethereal glow. The flickering streetlights cast long, ominous shadows that danced on the pavement. The first call came as I reached the town square. An eerie melody played on a vintage radio, the notes carrying a haunting familiarity. The voice that followed was distorted, its words a cryptic message that hinted at a forgotten past. The caller spoke of a long-lost love and a promise broken. As I followed the disembodied voice, it led me to an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. The air around the mansion buzzed with an energy that seemed to hum in harmony with the phantom caller's lament. The front door creaked open with an otherworldly groan, inviting me into the heart of the mystery. Inside, the mansion bore the scars of time, its grandeur reduced to a faded elegance. A vintage radio sat on a dusty table, its dials moving on their own accord. The room echoed with the ghostly melody, and the temperature dropped as the spirit of the caller materialized before me. A translucent figure, clad in attire from a bygone era, stood in the moonlit room. The eyes, filled with a sorrowful longing, met mine. The caller's tale unfolded, an unfulfilled promise, a tragic end, and a love that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As the figure reached out, a sudden chill swept through the room, and the vintage radio crackled to life. The ghostly melody swelled, intertwining with the caller's whispers. The air shimmered with an otherworldly luminescence, and I found myself caught in a spectral dance that spanned the ages. In an instant, the room fell silent. The caller vanished, leaving behind a profound stillness. Ravenswood, now awake with the first light of dawn, seemed oblivious to the supernatural encounter that had transpired in its midst. The midnight caller's story, a tragic symphony echoing through the mountainous terrain, remained etched in the fabric of Ravenswood's haunted history. 6th story, The Cursed Carnival, by Detective Sarah Mitchell. On the outskirts of Los Angeles, the once thriving carnival grounds of Lakeside Amusements had fallen into disrepair, abandoned and forgotten. Little did I know that beneath the rusting rides and crumbling booths lay a tale of supernatural horror that would challenge the boundaries of my beliefs. Responding to reports of strange occurrences at the abandoned carnival, my partner Detective Reynolds and I arrived at the desolate scene under the cover of night. The air was thick with the scent of rust and decay as we navigated the overgrown paths, our flashlights cutting through the darkness like beacons of uncertainty. As we ventured deeper into the heart of the carnival, the distant sounds of laughter and carousel music echoed through the still night air. The rides, long motionless, seemed to creak and groan with an otherworldly energy. Shadows danced along the faded facades of the once vibrant attractions. Our investigation led us to the dilapidated funhouse, its entrance marked by a weathered sign that bore the words, "House of Mirrors." The air within was stale, and the warped mirrors reflected distorted images that seemed to move of their own accord. It was as if the very essence of the carnival clung to the mirrors, a spectral presence bound by a curse. Suddenly, the mirrors shattered with a deafening crash, and the air grew heavy with a malevolent force. The laughter and carousel music intensified, reaching a frenzied crescendo that reverberated through the desolate carnival grounds. We were no longer alone. Figures clad in tattered carnival attire emerged from the shadows, their faces obscured by masks of twisted amusement. They beckoned us toward the center of the funhouse, their movements synchronized with an unnatural precision. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and a sense of foreboding gripped my very soul. In the heart of the funhouse, a spectral carnival master materialized. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly fervor, and a guttural voice spoke of a curse that bound him to the abandoned grounds. The carnival master's tale unfolded, a deal with dark forces, a betrayal, and a lingering curse that sought to ensnare the living. As we attempted to leave the funhouse, the carnival master's laughter echoed through the night, and the figures in tattered attire closed in with relentless determination. It was as if the curse sought to claim us as its own, forever binding our fates to the haunted carnival grounds. In a desperate bid for escape, Reynolds and I navigated the labyrinthine paths, the carnival master's laughter pursuing us. As we crossed the threshold of Lakeside Amusements, the laughter ceased, and the abandoned carnival lay silent once more. Los Angeles, with its sprawling urban landscape, remained unaware of the supernatural horrors that lurked just beyond its borders. Lakeside Amusements, now reclaimed by the darkness, stood as a testament to the thin veil that separated the living from the cursed echoes of a carnival long forgotten. 7th story, The Haunting of Cedar Creek, by Officer Daniel Turner. In the heart of the American Midwest, the quiet town of Cedar Creek stood as a testament to simplicity and community. Yet, my experience one autumn night revealed that even the most idyllic towns could harbor secrets that defy explanation. Responding to reports of strange occurrences in an old Victorian mansion on the outskirts of town, my partner Officer Rodriguez and I found ourselves on a winding path that led to the heart of the mystery. The mansion, with its weathered exterior and overchill, swept through the air, and the atmosphere inside the mansion seemed to pulse with an ancient energy. Our flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing ornate furniture draped in dusty sheets and faded wallpaper peeling away to expose the history etched into the walls. The reports spoke of ghostly apparitions and inexplicable whispers that echoed through the mansion's empty halls. As we delved deeper into the silent corridors, the air became dense with the weight of the past. The floorboards groaned beneath our steps, protesting the intrusion into a long-forgotten narrative. In a grand ballroom, our flashlights revealed a phantom orchestra playing a melancholic symphony. The ghostly figures, dressed in attire from another era, twirled in a spectral dance, their movements echoing through time. The air resonated with the echoes of laughter and the distant strains of forgotten music. Following the haunting melody, we discovered a hidden staircase that descended into a dimly lit basement. The flickering light revealed a makeshift seance room adorned with candles and arcane symbols. The air felt charged with an otherworldly presence, and a sense of trepidation settled upon us. In the flickering candlelight, a ghostly figure materialized, an ethereal woman with hollow eyes and a mournful expression. Her voice, a whisper that seemed to reverberate through the very walls, spoke of a tragic love story that unfolded within the mansion's storied past. The woman's tale wove a narrative of betrayal, heartbreak, and a vow that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As the seance room seemed to come alive with the echoes of the past, we witnessed scenes of joy and despair playing out before us. The mansion's walls retained the imprints of emotions long faded into the annals of time. The ghostly figures beckoned us to bear witness to a tale that had been locked away for generations. Attempting to leave the basement, we found the staircase transformed into an otherworldly vortex, the steps shifting and warping in defiance of the laws of physics. The ghostly figures urged us to stay, their spectral hands reaching out in a plea for understanding. With a surge of determination, Rodriguez and I broke free from the basement's grasp. The vortex dissipated, and the mansion fell silent once more. The echoes of Cedar Creek's haunted history lingered in the air, a reminder that even in the most unassuming towns, the past could resurface with a spectral intensity. As we emerged from the mansion, the night air was cool and crisp. Cedar Creek, with its charming facade, returned to its peaceful slumber. The ghostly tales of the Victorian mansion remained, etched into the very fabric of the town's existence, a testament to the thin veil that separated the living from the enduring echoes of a bygone era. 8th story, The Cryptic Chronicles of Redwood Manor, by Detective Olivia Morgan. Nestled in the fog-laden hills of Northern California, Redwood Manor stood as a timeless relic, a mansion with a storied past that whispered of mysteries and malevolent forces. Assigned to investigate reports of inexplicable phenomena, my partner Detective Harris and I embarked on a journey that would unravel the enigmatic history hidden within the mansion's ivy-clad walls. Arriving at Redwood Manor on a moonlit night, The air was thick with an unnatural stillness. The estate loomed like a shadowy sentinel against the mist-laden backdrop. As we ascended the grand staircase, the air grew colder, and the faint echoes of long-forgotten footsteps reverberated through the mansion's opulent halls. Our investigation led us to a forgotten library, its shelves lined with ancient tomes and weathered manuscripts. The smell of aged parchment hung in the air, and the dim glow of antique lamps cast long, wavering shadows on the hardwood floor. The room seemed frozen in time, as if the secrets within its pages had woven a spell that resisted the march of years. In the center of the library, a dusty tome beckoned us. Its pages revealed the cryptic chronicles of Redwood Manor, a history tainted by a dark pact forged in desperation. The story spoke of a family curse, an otherworldly entity, and a series of tragic events that left the mansion steeped in a spectral sorrow. As we delved deeper into the pages, the room darkened, and an ominous presence made itself known. The words in the book seemed to come alive, forming ethereal figures that danced along the edges of our vision. The air vibrated with a spectral resonance, and the temperature dropped, signaling the manifestation of something beyond our comprehension. The haunting figures coalesced into a shadowy silhouette, a manifestation of the entity bound to Redwood Manor. Its eyes, pools of darkness, met ours, and a voice echoed through the room. The entity spoke of its thirst for redemption, of a cycle that could only be broken through understanding and forgiveness. As we listened, the walls of the library seemed to dissolve, revealing scenes from the past. Apparitions of a tormented family replayed their final moments, each echoing footstep and anguished cry etching itself into the very essence of the mansion. The entity pleaded for release from the spectral shackles that bound it to Redwood Manor. Determined to break the cycle, we followed the ghostly apparitions through the mansion's labyrinthine corridors. The air was heavy with sorrow as the entity guided us towards a hidden chamber, the epicenter of the mansion's cursed history. The room pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and the walls bore witness to the tragedy that had unfolded within its confines. In a climactic moment, the entity faded into the mist, leaving behind a profound stillness. Redwood Manor, once enshrouded in mystery, stood silent and brooding. The fog outside dissipated, revealing a moonlit night that felt somehow lighter, as if the weight of centuries had been lifted. As we left the mansion, the echoes of its cryptic chronicles lingered in the air. Northern California, with its misty hills and ancient redwoods, concealed the secrets of Redwood Manor, a testament to the thin veil that separated the living from the spectral tapestry woven by the hands of fate. Ninth Story, The Enigmatic Enclave of Whispers Hollow, by Officer Ethan Richardson. Nestled deep within the Appalachian Mountains, Whispers Hollow had always been shrouded in mystery, a town that seemed to exist on the fringe of reality. One evening, responding to reports of bizarre occurrences, my partner Officer Martinez and I found ourselves entangled in a tale that transcended the boundaries of the known. The town, draped in a perpetual fog, exuded an otherworldly charm. The streets, eerily quiet, led us to an ancient mansion that loomed like a spectral sentinel. Its time-worn facade hinted at a storied past, and the overgrown gardens seemed to reclaim the land with tendrils of ivy that clung to the shadows. As we entered the mansion, the air inside was thick with a tangible tension. Whispers echoed through the grand halls, each step seeming to awaken a symphony of disembodied voices. The walls bore witness to scenes of opulent gatherings and long-forgotten celebrations that resonated with a bygone elegance. Our investigation led us to a hidden chamber, adorned with symbols and artifacts that hinted at a clandestine history. The atmosphere shifted, and the temperature dropped as we encountered an ancient manuscript, a testament to a pact made with entities beyond the veil of reality. The symbols on the manuscript seemed to writhe, forming ethereal figures that materialized within the chamber. The air hummed with an otherworldly energy as the figures beckoned us to decipher the enigmatic text. Each word resonated with a power that transcended comprehension, and the symbols seemed to dance in response to our presence. As we delved deeper into the manuscript, the walls of the chamber faded away, revealing a realm that existed between worlds. Whispers Hollow, it seemed, was a nexus where the living and the spectral coexisted in a delicate balance. The entities spoke of a cosmic dance, a cycle of creation and destruction that bound them to the fabric of reality. In a surreal revelation, the boundaries between the living and the spectral blurred. Officer Martinez and I found ourselves part of the cosmic dance, witnesses to a phenomenon that defied the laws of nature. The entities, ancient and unknowable, whispered of truths that echoed through the vast expanse of time. As the chamber returned to its physical form, the entities dissipated, leaving us in a state of bewilderment. Whispers Hollow, with its fog-laden streets and enigmatic mansion, retained its silent charm. The nexus between worlds had granted us a glimpse into the cosmic ballet that unfolded within the town's mystical embrace. 10th story, The Haunting Melody of Harrowbrook Manor, by Detective Lily Thornton. In the heart of the English countryside, Harrowbrook Manor stood as a testament to aristocratic grandeur. Assigned to investigate reports of a haunting melody that echoed through the estate, I found myself drawn into a tale of unrequited love and spectral yearning that left an indelible mark on my understanding of the supernatural. Arriving at Harrowbrook Manor on a mist-shrouded evening, the air carried a weight of history. The manor, with its ivy-covered facade and centuries-old architecture, exuded an eerie elegance. As I traversed the cobblestone path, the haunting strains of a melancholic melody became more pronounced, guiding me towards the heart of the estate. The grand ballroom, adorned with faded tapestries and antique chandeliers, held an air of timeless grace. The haunting melody reached a crescendo as I entered, revealing a spectral figure, a woman in a gown from a bygone era, her fingers gracefully gliding over the keys of a grand piano. The atmosphere pulsed with an ethereal energy as the woman, her eyes filled with a forlorn longing, beckoned me to listen to her tale. The melody became a narrative, an opulent ball, a clandestine affair, and a tragic end that left the woman bound to the manor for eternity. As the piano continued its ghostly serenade, the ballroom transformed into a spectral dance floor. Apparitions in elegant attire twirled and swayed to the haunting melody, their movements echoing the timeless tragedy that unfolded within the manor's storied walls. Following the spectral dance, the woman guided me through hidden passages and secret chambers, each unveiling a chapter of the unrequited love that held her captive. The manor itself seemed to resonate with the sorrow of the past, as if the very stones retained the echoes of a bygone romance. In a moment of revelation, the woman's spectral form dissipated, leaving the ballroom in a profound silence. The haunting melody lingered in the air, a poignant reminder of a love that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As I emerged from Harrowbrook Manor, the mist-clad countryside enveloped the estate, concealing the spectral tale within its timeless embrace, a testament to the thin veil that separates the living from the echoes of an eternal lament. Thank you for watching whole video. Check this video you see on the screen, it's one of my favorite. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash that like to support my free and daily content for you. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment and tell me what story got you chills.